Hello, Steve speaking.
Hey, Steve. My name is Travis. I'm doing some personal research on land surveying, and if you have a few moments, I would love to have an interview if that's possible.
Okay.
Yeah?
Sure.
Well, that'll work? Okay, great, great. Just got some questions that I've written down. The first question is, can you tell me what you understand the term local level to refer to?
So let's go back. What is this for? Before
I'm a private citizen. I'm interested in land surveying, and
okay.
the research that I've done has just brought questions up that the research hasn't answered for me, and so I was just hoping to find someone that has field experience and someone who could just be like, you know, giving me the how-to just real quick because you know you've got hands-on experience.
Okay. And how did you get my name, or?
I have called over 50 places trying to get someone to be available and whatnot, so you're just one of 50.
Okay. And now where are you based out of?
Like I said, I'm not a business or anything. I'm just a private citizen.
No. What city?
Well, I'm a truck driver, so I'm all over the place.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, I see you're. So are you in the Cleveland area, or?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Like I said, I just did a search on my phone, and you were like the 51st selection. So you're the winner. Local level.
Local level, meaning for elevation, or?
Well, if it's not a term that you're familiar with, then you know then it's not.
Well, no, well it is, but it just depends on its application. So there's a local level, meaning being in the area, or do you mean local level meaning an elevation based on the local elevation of the area or the local level?
I would say that.
Okay, so there's certain cities. So right now everybody uses a datum. A datum refers to your elevation. Okay, and a datum is basically everything that it's based off of, which is kind of what GPS is. Okay. But then there's some cities have a thing called a local datum or elevation, like Cleveland had one that was historic, and you would come off of discs or monuments that are placed in the ground that are elevated to an elevation that is local only. Is it okay?
Okay.
So now if you're in a flood zone, it's a national, and that's using a certain elevation that's required by FEMA that's based on their elevations to then do your flood maps, if that kind of gives you that.
And did you say Foxtrot, Echo, Michael, Alpha?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
FEMA, like the flood guys, you know.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I heard what you heard you correctly. That's all.
So are you past military?
No, I just know that.
Okay. So the reason I asked that is because there are military surveyors, right, who did for sightings for artillery, and there are military surveyors who come out to become land surveyors in the world. Now, I taught at the University of Akron for 6 years, adjunct, and we would get military surveyors, and actually those people get they get some pass, or their time counts toward their license. So
I gotcha.
Okay, next question.
Okay, so then local horizontal.
Okay, so yeah, that's the same idea. It's a local coordinate system that's based on XY, right? So XY is your Cartesian coordinate system, right? It's north or east or south, and it's a local coordinate system that's based just in the area that you're on, or the project that you're on. Also.
Okay. All right. So then, how local is local? Is it a mile? Is 5 miles? 10 miles?
Local could be your corner park, your corner gas station lot, your house lot. the parcel you're working on and for an Amazon, you know, whatever it is.
Okay, but is there a limit as to how small it is? Like that to me, that would just be like 1,000 meters, right? Square meters or something like that. But I'm talking like, is local level or local horizontal ever referred to in like grand scale, like hey, 10 square miles? Is that local level, local horizontal?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you could have a city that's on its own local datum.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. And
right.
some of them require it that way. Like in Philadelphia, they have a thing called the Philly foot. So at one point, Philadelphia caught on fire, everything burned, and the local surveyor used a chain, which is a measuring device back in the day, that was not, it wasn't accurate enough. And it was short or long, I don't remember. So when you get an old deed, it would say it was this, and a foot wasn't as long as 1 foot. It was actually long or short, and everything was measured from that. So you have to actually give your measurements or your calc measurements in relation to that. So I did a Walmart out for a large firm that I worked for, and you had to, for the survey plat, we actually had to call out some Philly feet or make a conversion for that.
Okay. All right, and then taking away the local part, how do you differentiate between level and horizontal? Just as a function.
How do I differentiate between level and horizontal? So there's two different things. Horizontal is XY in your XY coordinate, and level is vertical. It's Z, right? So that's up and down.
Okay, so it's at a point. Okay. Okay, so then my next question was going to be, how do you describe or define vertical?
It's an up and down movement based on zero, but it would be in a up and down fashion, you know, above or below a plane.
Okay, got it. And then parallel.
It'll be running in a horizontal plane, right? So.
Yep. Okay. And then reciprocal zenith angles.
So zenith is vertical, right? So zenith is dead exactly north or directly above you is a zenith. So it would be, and it was reciprocal zenith? Huh.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to look that up in my term.
Okay.
Book.
All right.
But again, zenith being directly vertical, so it's got to be reciprocal of that. But no. Okay. So next question.
Do you ever deal with, I guess, transferring raw data or comparing raw data with adjusted data?
Sure.
Well,
sure.
Can you,
so that's you'll do that in your data collector or the program. So it's your raw data is, hey, here's everything I surveyed in the field. This is before I made any corrections or adjustments to it. It's one-to-one. Maybe the guys messed up a backsite, or their GPS equipment needs to be adjusted because, and this goes back to what you're saying about your datum, is I need to move it from local to raw. So if you're a construction guy, you're going to go from what you shot in the field and then relate it to the site that you're on. Or maybe there are control points that are provided to you by the surveyor or the project person, manager, that you have to then take that original data that you shot and now make it relatable to the site that you're on. And again, you can do that in your data collector. You can do it in whichever software, Trimble or whichever equipment you use. So, and you do that for if you're in a construction end, you're doing it for your GPS in your machines that are moving dirt. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. So let's say I want to create an extended horizontal line over a distance, maybe approximately 2 miles, marking every, let's say, 50 meters.
Okay.
What method would I use to create the horizontal line?
First off, madness, because so again, it depends on your application. So if you're doing it on a road, you can do it right in AutoCAD and set a line and draw a line for that distance, and then you can create an alignment, which will automatically do that, and then it will calculate your distances and points. Or in your data collector, you can do it with a surface, or there's many ways.
Okay, so when you said madness, why did you say that?
That's going to be a lot of points in the field.
Okay.
That's a lot of wood. That's a lot of staking.
Okay.
Every 50 feet for what did you say, 2 miles or something?
Yeah. Well, I said 50 meters, but
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let me ask you this. So you're obviously in the U.S. So why do you? Everything you're doing is metric. Is there a reason for that, or?
You know what? I think that the metric system is the superior system.
Okay.
In my opinion. But I often flip back and forth between it just for familiarity's sake, colloquialism here in the States and whatnot.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay, so.
And that's why if you go back to the military end of it, I'm like, okay, well maybe he was a military surveyor, because they deal with meters.
All right, so let's say I've established the first straight line segment. Let's just say at 50 meters. If I continue to extend those horizontal line segments, would they all be level from the original data point?
Yeah, say that one more time.
Okay, so if I have a starting point,
mm-hmm.
the original point, and I measure out the first segment at 50 meters,
mm-hmm.
and then let's say I do that for the entire 2 miles. Would they all be an extension of the same horizontal plane and therefore all level?
No. Well, let's go back. If they're in relation to a horizontal plane, yes. But on the ground, if you measured between them, you're going to deal with slope, right? Because the road goes up or down. It's not even. It's right. It undulates.
Right.
But if you measure between the 2 points, yes, it would be. With not taking slope into account, you're right. It's XY.
Okay, got it. And
so you're based out of California?
Well, that's my phone number is from California.
Yeah, Atherband Photography.
Atherband Photography. Yeah, I'm a hobbyist. Yeah, I'm a hobbyist.
Okay.
Yeah. That's funny. Is that information showing up?
Thank you, Google. Yeah.
That's creepy.
It's not. I mean, it's just yeah. So I see the phone number and I was like, okay. So,
yeah,
but I didn't know if you were relating this in relation to like a drone or aerial.
No, but see, part of that is, now that you brought up Atherband Photography, is that I actually do a lot of long-distance photography that deal with targets that are often displaced because of refraction.
Yeah.
And so it's just been a really...
I almost lost you there. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, and so I've crossed paths with a lot of people that have these discussions, and so kind of.
So you're so just an understanding. So if I use GPS for say an ODOT project, right, a DOT project, but that'd be Ohio based. So your big thing is you get refraction or curvature of the Earth. So typically, if you go over 3 miles, 3 miles is about the average of where the curvature of the Earth kicks in, and it distorts your photo. So, and again, that all is depending on what flight elevation you're at. What's the height of the aerial plane or the drone that you're using. So
yeah. Now that's curious that you brought that up. So I actually have a place where I set up to take photography on the Chesapeake Bay, and I have a target that's 6 miles away.
Okay.
Now, I take my observations from the shoreline. So I'm at about 60 inches is where my camera sets up, 60 inches as an elevation. And I have a line of sight to the other shoreline 6 miles away.
Okay.
Does that surprise you?
For a photo, yeah. I mean,
because what you said was
curvature of the Earth kicks in
at 3 miles
when you measure that long. So,
right, right. So halfway between me and my target is where the curve would start.
Sure.
But I have a higher point beyond that 3 miles farther. That's the shoreline.
Right. Yeah, but a straight line distance is straight line distance, meaning whatever it is, it is. But the curvature of the Earth comes into effect when you're doing aerial photography above. You're not straight lining it. You're above, flying down like a cone.
I'm not sure I understand that.
Yeah, I would look up drone flights and aerial photography for surveying. Basically,
is that like LiDAR? Is that LiDAR?
And LiDAR can be done on an aerial flight, sure. All that is light emitted diode, I think it's, and refraction. So instead of using a camera to do the measurements, they use LiDAR, which measures light, and then it's more accurate. It can read through trees better than an aerial photo because you'll get obscured areas. So
okay, all right. Well, now okay. It's interesting you brought up the curvature thing. So and because I've gotten a straight line of sight to the other shoreline. And by shoreline, I don't mean like an elevated shoreline. I mean like where the water hits the shoreline. Like I can see where the water is hitting the other boat dock and the boat ramp. So if I'm on the one side and then 6 miles away, I can see the other side, I would consider the fact that I'm looking across a level, not curved surface.
Across a level. Yeah, you're looking at a straight line, correct, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well, hey, I'm going to let you go. Hopefully that answers some of your...
Yeah, you've given me more than enough time. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Steve. You take care, okay?
And keep it on the level. That's all I got.
All right.
Thanks, bye.